Every villain was once a kind child. In this video, I'll explain how the kindness and good nature of both Kawaki and Madara were used against them. I'll show how this led to Madara becoming the villain we saw in the Naruto manga and how it shaped Kawaki into the person he is now in the Boruto manga. First, let's look at the kindness and good nature of Madara. Madara grew up in a time where there were constant wars and battles between different clans. Because of these fights, children were forced to become shinobi and go to war, even though they had not started the conflict. Madara had 5 brothers, but 4 of them died in battle. This harsh reality deeply affected him, and he made a vow to protect his last remaining brother, Izuna. Madara's empathy and kindness first showed when he found Hashirama crying over the death of his brother in battle. In that moment, Madara comforted Hashirama and gave him emotional support. It was then that Madara told Hashirama something important. If the clans showed each other their true intentions, their guards, then they could stop fighting. What he meant was that if the clans could be open and honest about wanting peace, instead of hiding behind suspicion and hatred, then the endless bloodshed could be avoided. This moment showed that Madara's heart was not just set on gaining power. He wanted power to protect people. It also made Hashirama realize that there was another child like him who wanted peace. From then on, their friendship grew stronger. Both Madara and Hashirama didn't want the future where children were sent to die in battle, or where kids suffered the same pain they had experienced before. They began meeting in secret to train and get stronger, so they could eventually convince the elders in their clans to support their ideas. During these meetings, Hashirama told Madara about his vision for the future, a central community where people and shinobi could live together, where children would not be sent to fight in clan wars, and where young shinobi would be trained properly and given missions that matched their abilities. Madara liked this vision and agreed to work with Hashirama to make it happen, as he saw it as a real plan to protect the next generation and keep innocent children safe. However, things started to go wrong. Madara's family and Hashirama's family secretly planned to kill the other when Hashirama and Madara next met at their usual meeting spot by the river. Thankfully, they managed to warn each other about their clan's plans. But everything fell apart when Madara's father and Hashirama's father tried to harm their younger brothers, Izuna and Tomiraba. Madara and Hashirama both stepped in to protect them, but this meant Madara had to put aside the love he had for Hashirama in order to stand with his family. Because the Uchiha feels emotions so strongly, this separation from Hashirama awakened Madara's Sharingan. This showed how deeply Madara cared for Hashirama. After that, the Uchiha and Senju clans fought each other for many years, until Madara and Hashirama became the leaders of their clans. Even then, Hashirama still wanted to be friends and work together to achieve the vision they had once shared. Madara had buried his caring feelings, but they returned when Hashirama and the Senju clan defeated him and his army. When Tomirama wanted to finish Madara off, Hashirama stopped him. At that moment, Hashirama reminded Madara of their shared vision for the future. Madara at first refused the offer to join forces because he no longer had a brother to protect. He said he would only agree if Hashirama killed Tomirama or killed himself. To Madara's surprise, Hashirama agreed to take his own life. He told his clan to leave Madara alone and to work together to make their dream a reality. Before Hashirama could kill himself, Madara stopped him. Why? Because Hashirama had shown his guts. He had proved that he truly wanted peace. From then on, Madara and Hashirama joined forces and built what is known as Konoha, a village designed so that people and shinobi could live together. Children will not be sent to die in clan battles, and a system will be in place to protect the next generation. Madara was not a one-dimension power-hungry villain. He was someone who started with compassion, empathy, and a genuine wish to end needless suffering, only to be shaped by betrayal later. So how was Madara's kindness used against him? A long time before Madara was born, Hagorama Otsutsuki, the sage of 6 paths, created a stone tablet for the Uchiha clan. This tablet was meant to guide the future Uchiha generations towards peace. It was written in such a way that its meaning would change depending on the reader's dojutsu, from the Sharingan to the Mangekyou Sharingan and finally to the Rinnegan. However, Black Setsu, who was the will of Kagewa Otsutsuki, secretly altered the stone tablet thousands of years before Madara's time. Black Zetsu twisted Hokarama's original message so that it made it look as if true peace could only be achieved through the Infinity Tsukiyomi, a powerful genjutsu cast on the moon to trap all humanity in a dream world. This rewrite was part of a plan to manipulate the reincarnation of Indra, especially Madara, into carrying out Kaguya's revival, without them even knowing they were being used. The plan worked on Madara because he eventually grew dissatisfied with life in Konoha. At first, he supported Hashirama as Konoha's leader, but he disliked the fact that the other clans in the village did not trust the Uchiha. He also saw how Tomirama openly showed distrust towards the Uchiha, and he felt betrayed when even the very Uchiha people he fought so hard to protect no longer trusted him. Madara began to believe that even under Konoha's new system, the cycle of hatred will continue and that the Uchiha will eventually be destroyed from within. This prediction slowly turned into paranoia, made worse by the fact that the other clans and even many Uchiha preferred Hashirama over him. During this time, Madara studied the Uchiha stone tablet in great detail. Because of Black Zetsu's edits, the tablet seemed to confirm his fears. Over time, Madara became convinced that the only way to achieve true lasting peace was to awaken the Renegan, summon the Ten Tails, and cast the Infinite Tsukiyomi on the moon. Black Zetsu pretended to be Madara's will, using indirect methods to push him towards making this goal a reality. Because of Madara's deep desire to protect people from the cycle of hatred and needless fighting, his focus shifted from protecting Konoha to saving the entire world through the Infinite Tsukiyomi. However, this new goal led him to commit many terrible acts. He manipulated Obito into becoming his pawn. Obito in turn manipulated Pain into building the Akatsuki. Obito also worked with Kabuto to launch the 4th Great Ninja War in order to capture the remaining tail beast from Naruto and Killer Bee, a plan that caused the death of many innocent people. In reality, all of this was part of Black Zetsu's century-old plan to bring Kaguya back. Madara never realized the truth until the very end of his life, when Black Zetsu betrayed him and revealed that he had been manipulated all along, just like Madara himself had once manipulated Obito. So how is Kawaki similar to Madara? And how was his kindness and good nature used against him just like it was with Madara? Kawaki's childhood deeply damaged his kindness and inner child because he was forced to do everything, including working at a young age, just to earn his father's love, safety, kindness, approval, and validation. But instead of that, his father was an alcoholic who wasted the little money Kawaki had worked very hard for on alcohol instead of food. Most of the time, if Kawaki didn't use the money he earned to buy alcohol for his father would do everything he could to make sure Kawaki was left hungry, neglected, and without basic care. Instead of showing love or guidance, Kawaki's father constantly abused him physically and emotionally. He would call Kawaki useless and worthless. Kawaki's daily life was all about survival, doing chores, cutting firewood, and trying to not make his father angry. Even though Kawaki worked hard, his father never praised him or showed any affection. Worse still, when a lot of money was offered, Kawaki's father didn't hesitate to abandon him. He accepted money from Jigen in exchange for his own son. Because of this childhood, Kawaki's good nature, ability to be kind, and inner child were destroyed. He grew up in an environment where love was tied to survival and obedience. Kawaki worked hard to earn love, safety, approval, and validation, but he was met with neglect, abuse, and emotional humiliation. This type of childhood taught Kawaki's brain to see love as weakness and to distrust being vulnerable. Kawaki's inner child, the part of him that could trust and be openly kind, was destroyed because he learned from his father that life is not safe and always comes with pain or betrayal. Due to how his father treated him, Kawaki learned to suppress warmth and kindness, matching the cold and threatening world he expected around him. Kawaki's father didn't just fail to love him as a parent, he sold him to Jigen for money. Such a betrayal, especially in childhood, convinces a person that close relationship will always end up in loss or being used. In Kawaki's mind, kindness only brought him more pain. He learned that showing love makes you vulnerable and exploitable. His mind changed to focus on control, protecting himself, and being wary of others. By the time Jigen took Kawaki, his emotional foundation was already badly damaged. Jigen made things worse by promising Kawaki that his suffering will end, but this was a lie. Kawaki arrived at Jigen's hideout. When Kawaki arrived at Jigen's hideout, he discovered he was there to have Ishiki's karma seal implanted into him. Kawaki also saw many children die because the karma implementation failed on them. So how is Kawaki slowly becoming a villain? Kawaki's childhood completely broke his idea of what a caregiver should be like. But living with Naruto started to challenge that belief. In Naruto's home, Kawaki was treated like a real human being. Naruto became a father figure to him, so much that he stayed with Kawaki in his real body instead of using a shadow clone, just so he could protect him 24/7 in case Gaara attacked Konoha to take him back. Naruto even risked his own life and gave up Kurama, his greatest source of power, to save Kawaki from Ishiki and to stop him from getting another karma seal after Ishiki revived using Jigen's body. This act ultimately erased the karma seal from Kawaki. Hinata became a mother figure to Kawaki, taking care of the house and making sure he was fed properly and looked after. Boruto became like a brother. They got along well, shared their struggles from Kawaki's time in Gaara, bonded over the burden of their karma seals, went on missions together, and trained side by side, which strengthened their relationship. Kawaki even had a loving and innocent younger sister in Himawari. For the first time, Kawaki had a place where he felt he belonged. At first, he struggled to accept the Uzumaki family's love because he had never experienced real love in his childhood. But because of Naruto's care, love, nurturing, and protection, Kawaki began to see Naruto as the center of his world. To Kawaki, a life without Naruto was a life not worth living. Unlike his childhood filled with abuse, neglect, and betrayal, Naruto gave Kawaki warmth, understanding, and a safe place where he could be himself without fear. Naruto never demanded anything from him. He showed patience and unconditional love. He didn't treat Kawaki like a weapon or a burden, but as someone valuable and worthy of care. Naruto's protection and guidance made Kawaki feel secure and hopeful for the first time in his life. This constant kindness slowly helped him open up and trust again. Naruto's fatherly role filled the empty space in Kawaki's heart, making him more than a guardian. He became someone Kawaki truly loved and saw as a real father. Because of the strong bond Kawaki developed with Naruto, he made a promise to do anything to protect him. Due to his childhood experiences, Kawaki saw the Otsutsuki as the ones responsible for his suffering and for the suffering of other children he had seen well in Gaara. In his mind, anything connected to the Otsutsuki is a source of pain for the world and a danger to Naruto. Even though Kawaki cares deeply for Boruto as a brother, he still sees him as a threat because Boruto is Momoshiki's vessel. Kawaki believes that once Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body, he will be dangerous. Kawaki's goal is to destroy everything related to Otsutsuki, including Code, the 10 Tails, and even Boruto. With Boruto, Kawaki struggles internally. He loves and cares for him, but he also wants to destroy him because of the danger Momoshiki poses. This need to protect Naruto gave Amado a way to manipulate Kawaki. Amado deliberately told Kawaki that he no longer had the power to protect Naruto after losing his karma seal when Ishiki revived using Jigen's body. Amado was able to figure out Kawaki's weaknesses and desires because he had modified Kawaki's body with scientific technology, meaning he could see everything Kawaki could see. This also meant Amado had witnessed conversations between Kawaki and Boruto. When Kawaki and Boruto discussed a plan to implant Boruto's karma into Code, Amado told Kawaki it was not a bad idea in theory. If it worked, Boruto would be saved and Code would be gone. Two birds with one stone. But then Amado pointed out flaws in the plan. First, he explained that Code was already an imperfect vessel with a karma seal from Ishiki, so it was doubtful Boruto could implant another karma into him. Second, even if it worked, Boruto could not revive himself until Code's body was fully transformed into an Otsutsuki vessel, a process Code would never wait for. Instead, Code will attack, targeting those involved in defeating Ishiki, including Naruto. This is where Amado hit Kawaki's weak spot, his fear of losing Naruto. Amado told Kawaki he would need much power to take down Code if he wanted to protect Naruto. This got Kawaki's attention. Kawaki even asked Amado if Naruto could defeat Code without Kurama's power. Amado replied he was not sure and then added that he suspected Naruto will die in a one-on-one fight against Code. By pointing out all the flaws in Kawaki and Boruto's plan, And by stressing Kawaki's lack of power to protect Naruto, Amado was able to present a solution, giving Kawaki his Karma Seal back, but this time purely as a weapon, not as a vessel for Ishiki. At the time, Kawaki refused because he believed he hated karma, but in reality, that was not true. Since Amado could see what Kawaki saw, he noticed that during training, Kawaki instinctively tried to use karma to absorb Boruto's Thunderbolt, even though he no longer had the karma. So Amado secretly gave Kawaki the weaponized karma without telling him. This karma would awaken only if Kawaki instinctively tried to use it again, just like in the training match. That's exactly what happened during the battle against Momoshiki, when Momoshiki took over Boruto's body and tried to defeat Naruto. Because of everything Amado told Kawaki, that they planned to make Code Boruto's vessel would fail, that Kawaki lacked the power to protect Naruto, and that Momoshiki could take over Boruto at any moment, Kawaki made a drastic decision. He sealed Naruto and Hinata in his Dakugutan dimension, where time does not flow, and they will neither age nor get hungry, ensuring their safety. Kawaki then used Ada's omnipotence ability to change everyone's memories so that they believed Boruto was responsible for Naruto's disappearance. This turned Boruto into an enemy in the eyes of people from different villages, the same people who loved Naruto as the hero of the 4th Great Ninja War and as Hokage. By doing this, Kawaki made Boruto lose most of his allies, giving Kawaki the chance to go after him without much interference. In Kawaki's mind, this will remove the threat of Momoshiki harming Naruto, while also giving himself the support of Konoha and other villages in fighting against Code. After the time skip, things are not going the way Kawaki planned. Boruto has become so strong, even without the Karma Seal, that he could defeat both Kawaki and Code if he wanted to. A new danger to Naruto's life has also appeared, Jura, the leader of the Divine Tree people. When Boruto explained to Kawaki how he could get stronger to help defeat the Divine Trees, Kawaki went to Amado. He asked Amado to maximize the attack power of his Karma Seal and give him extra scientific ninja tech abilities so he could fight Code, Boruto and the Divine Trees. In return, Kawaki promised to use the weaponized karma to implant it into a scientific clone containing the data of Amado's daughter, allowing her to be reborn in the same way the Otsutsuki revive. Amado accepted this deal. Even with these power upgrades, Kawaki is still not strong enough to defeat Jura. To make things worse, Jura now has confirmed that Naruto is still alive, a secret that could expose Kawaki's lies to Konoha and the rest of the world. Kawaki was now seen as Boruto by everyone due to Ada's omnipotence, changing their memories, still struggles to accept love or give love to others, often pushing people away. On the other hand, Boruto, who everyone now sees as Kawaki, the enemy who betrayed and caused Naruto's disappearance, remains true to himself. Despite the false memories, Boruto's empathy, care, understanding, selflessness, and dedication to the shinobi way, along with his actions as the Shadow Hokage, are slowly winning back people's trust. Meanwhile, Kawaki's behavior will slowly cause him to lose the trust of those around him. In short, both Madara and Kawaki became villains because the people who mattered most to them were used as a way to control them. Their strong desire to protect those they cared about was turned against them, leading them to be manipulated into doing things they have done. In both the cases of Madara and Kawaki, their protective intuition were genuine and rooted in love and loyalty, but those intuitions were manipulated until they led to destructive choices.